Hey everybody, Ray here. Today I want to show you how adding splines to the corners of something like this plain box that I made here really make a difference. It makes a box go from plain to professional, and it's really not that hard. If you want to see how I do this, stick around and I'll show you. And don't forget, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up for me. I appreciate it. So in order to put the splines on the box here, you'll have to make yourself a little spline jig. I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video. There are several videos out there that show you how to do it. Two things you want to make sure of is that it's going to sit on your table saw and it's going to be square that way. And also, you want to make sure that you've got that 90-degree angle in here, and it is as perfect as you can get it as well. So the first thing you want to do is determine where you want your splines. Now in my case, I've decided that what I want to do is 3 splines. You could do 2, you could do 4. It's arbitrary at this point. What do you want to do? So given that I wanted to do 3, what I said was I'm going to start with 1 1/4 inches, and I'm going to run 1 1/4 inches from the bottom. I'm going to have the lid sitting on here, and I'm going to do 1 1/4 inches from the lid because I want them equally spaced between the top and the bottom of the whole box. So I have to have the lid on here when I measure that. So I've got 1 1/4 inches each way. Then I can measure between those 2 lines, and I can see that it's 3 1/4 inches. So if I have 3 1/4 inches between where my first 2 splines are and I want it in the middle, then I'm going to go down to 1 5/8 inches. So 1 5/8 inches from, it's hard to see these lines on the dark wood, but here are my 2 outside splines, and then 1 5/8 inches puts me in the middle between those 2 splines. The next thing we have to figure out is how deep do we want those splines to go into that corner? 2 things to take into consideration. One is when you put your spline in there, you want it to be hanging out just a little bit from the corner. So when you sand it down, it will be flush with the edges of the box. If you go too deep, you can see that you'll leave too much area out here and you'll have to make wider splines. Now, my splines, I happen to cut them at 1/2 inch wide, and they are the thickness of my saw blade, and I'll tell you how I do that. You could have made this you could make this a little bit wider if you wanted to, but you want to make sure that when you make that cut, the other thing you don't want to do is penetrate into the inside of your box here. Once you know the width of your spline, then you can just set that spline on there roughly at the angle where you're going to want to insert it, and then make a mark there. Now you know how deep you want to cut into that corner. To get the depth of your cut, you're simply going to put your spline jig on your table, saw table, and put your box in the way you're going to cut it. Now all you need to do is start raising your blade until it comes just to the point or just under the line that's going to give you the depth of the cut in the box that you want. Now we want to make sure that we cut those splines in exactly where we've made those marks. So you want to center your blade such that it is going to cut right on that line. Now how we're going to do this is, my jig has a 3/4 inch back to it. So I have to make sure that I account for that 3/4 inch. So I simply take an identical piece of 3/4 inch plywood and I set that against my fence. Then I take my box and I line it up so that that line is going to be right in the center of my blade there. Now I know when I put my jig on here and I cut into that box, it's going to cut right where I put that line. Now, believe it or not, this is actually the first time that I've tried this technique. I actually just made this jig to cut these splines in today. So we're going to make sure that the way I'm thinking about this actually works. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a scrap piece of 90° here, and I'm going to put that in the jig and cut where I just showed you I made that first mark. And then I'm going to take the jig off, put the box back on there with my cheater piece, and then I'm going to mark my middle spline, and then I'll do the same thing to my top spline. If that works, then when I'm done, the cuts that I've made in this 90° should match perfectly to the lines that I've made on my box. So let's see how this goes. So there's my first cut. I'm going to check this out, and I can see that my edge of my spline that I'm putting in there is just proud of the corner, so that's perfect. So there are our 3 cuts. Let's find the 3 marks on our box. This way. And if I line those cuts up, I hope you can see this, they are lined up perfectly with the lines that I put on the box. So we've cut all of our spaces here in the corner of the box. Now I'm going to show you a couple of ways to make the splines to put in the box. Remember, we want those splines to be the same width as our saw blade. So I'm just going to start out here. I've got about a 1x6 piece of scrap, and I'm going to cut it down to 2 equal 2.5-inch boards. Now I'll take those 2 boards that I just got finished cutting, and I will hold them together, staggering them so the board along the fence is further ahead than the board on the other side of the blade. By holding them together, you're going to cut the width of the saw blade on that outside piece. Now you'll run this through until the board that is on the outside of the blade has about 3 inches left on the end. So now you've created a spline jig. Just flip that outside board over end for end, and then flip it again side for side, and rest it against the fence of your table saw. So when you stopped your cut 3 inches from the end, you left a little nub. Now you're going to create your spline. Take your board, place it against your jig with the board up against the nub that you left. If you rip along your board, you're going to leave a spline that is exactly the same width as your saw blade. All you have to do is cut that spline off of the board. Another way to make a spline is to get yourself what's called a thin lip jig. You can buy these, or you can make one like I made this one here. The value of this is it's easy to vary the width of the spline and make repeated cuts. Next, lay your spline down flat and cut it to whatever width you want. In my case, it was 1/2 inch. Then, determine how long you want those splines to be, and then just use your miter to make a lot of cuts to make several splines at the same time. So we've made all of our splines. They're all dry fit in here. You're really not going to need very much glue on these things because they already fit pretty snugly. So we're just going to put a little tiny drop kind of in the middle of each one, and that's really all it's going to take. And we'll just slide them in there and make sure that each side, this side and this side, both fit nice and snug against the side of your box there. So you can see all 3 of those are fit in there very snugly, and they're nice and tight against the box on both sides. So those are ready to go. I'm going to continue with the rest of these. We let our splines dry overnight with the glue, and I'm back here the next morning, and now what I want to do is cut these splines off flush with the side of my box here. Now what I have found is that sometimes if you don't keep that angle perfect as you're cutting through those splines, I have once or twice gotten a blade where it was angled a little bit like this, and then it would cut the side of my box. I'm kind of new to using these Japanese pull saws. I really like the little one that I bought, and it was not very expensive. But while I'm trying to get better at using it, I thought it might be a good idea just to go ahead and protect the sides of my box below the spline like that. So you can see that I've already cut off the side of this spline right here, and now I'll come back and I'll simply cut off the other side of the spline. I found you just start gently, and remember this is a pull saw, so it's actually cutting when it's coming back toward you, unlike the old hand saws that we used to have that actually cut when they were going away from you. So it'll cut it off nice and neat like that. I'll cut off the rest of these splines and I'll bring you back. We cut off all of our splines, and that Japanese pull saw really does a nice job of getting them cut pretty flush to the edge of the box. To finish this off, I've just got a little block here with some 320 grit sandpaper. It just happened to be what was on the block. And so we'll just sand these down so they are perfectly flush with the side of the box here. And at the same time, we're kind of doing one last sanding to our box here. So I think you'll agree that adding these light colored splines along the edge just give this box a much more professional look. And as a bonus, as I was getting ready to finish up here, I realized that some of the pieces that I had cut off for the splines were nice and long because I hadn't cut them down into the individual spline pieces yet. And these were already cut to the exact width of my saw blade. So what I did was, I took the lid and I ran it along the saw so I would penetrate at that depth right there. I hope you can see that. And then all I had to do was to take this long spline and fit it down in there and then sand it down. So the top of the box looks like it's got kind of an inlay. So that's really pretty too. This box is coming out to be pretty cool, from a plain box to something that looks very professional with inlays, and I'm really happy with it. And what I'm going to do is just finish this box with an oil. In this case, I'm going to use tung oil. I've used different oils before, and I just like the finish that an oil leaves. So I'm just going to give you an idea here of what difference that oil makes just very quickly in bringing out the grain and enhancing the beauty of the wood. And you can see there the side that I put the oil on, and then the side that doesn't have the oil yet. So I'm going to do this whole box, and then I'll bring you back to finish up. So I'm really happy with the way these splines came out, and I hope you learned something at the same time that I was learning something, because I just started this project yesterday to make the jig, to create the cuts for the splines, and then create the splines themselves. So it was all new to me. And I can think of a lot of uses for these splines in different boxes like this, or on the edges of frames or things like that. And these inlays could be used in a lot of different ways, like on cutting boards or serving trays or whatever. So I think it's a neat little concept to be able to try to do something like this. And I applied this Formby's tung oil, and I'm not sponsored by Formby's, it just happens to be the brand that I used. And I think you can see already that just even after one coat, it's already starting to get like a nice luster. So we'll let that dry overnight, put another coat on it tomorrow, and then the third if we need to. But I really like an oil finish, and I like the way it just kind of brings out the natural luster of the wood. Well, I hope this project was beneficial to you. It was for me, that's for sure. And if it was, hit me with that thumbs up. You know I always appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.